All right. Well, this episode was definitely a lot better than the previous ones. Riri is still annoying me to no end. But at least we're getting somewhere. Now, why Riri seemed surprised that John was acting weird? I mean, even John Parker was acting weird because even though she doesn't know that he knows that she killed John, you could see how nervous she was acting. I mean, you could question, okay, what the fuck's going on here? Why are you acting nervous? She's not acting sad. She isn't acting like she feels bad that she wasn't able to find John in time. She was acting nervous because she knows that she killed John. And Natalie's like, "Oh, you did this because you had to save yourself. And John would have done the same." And I agree with her, but heroes tend to, not let their bad guys die. So again, it's like, I realize you're into science and everything, but you have no idea how humanity works whatsoever. I can see why Xavier calls her Spock, because she seems to be completely clueless. Actually, you know what? Spock was more human than she is. Oh my god. Anyway, so, Ronnie, now, this is another thing of keeping secrets just to create drama. And anyone who's seen my previous videos know I hate this so much. Why couldn't she tell Ronnie, especially Xavier, what's going on? Especially when you got to the point of, here's a watch to protect you. And she doesn't even say that. She said, just don't take it off. As if they're going to be like, oh, okay. Of course they're going to wonder what the hell's going on. Well, Xavier didn't seem to. He was like, okay, cool. And so, of course, shockingly enough, by the end, he throws the watch back because he thinks it's just some gift, as opposed to her trying to protect him. Which, given what happened this episode, I question whether it would have protected him, but that's a different story. So, finally she accepts that this is magic, which just last episode she's like, magic just is code for I don't know, which in the real world, yes, that is 100% true. In the MCU, not so much. Especially since you've got Wanda, you've got Doctor Strange. It's, they do magic. It is verifiable that they do magic. I'm not sure why we're still in this mode of magic doesn't exist. I could understand that if, you live in a world where magic doesn't exist and you don't have anybody, know anybody or have seen anybody who does magic, like Doctor Strange or Wanda or Riri's soon-to-be teammate, Billy. I don't know why this is so hard. So there's that. So she takes a piece of Parker's hood to Maddie and her daughter, without telling Ronnie, because we cannot tell anybody anything. I get it, you want to protect your mother and your friend, but at the same time, the hell. At this point, why not just come clean? I got in with this criminal gang because I needed the money. to build my suit. And yes, I know that was a boneheaded idea. And oh, by the way, he has these magical powers. It's really not that hard. I mean, either Ronnie's going to go all mother and say, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Or she's going to do that and then say, "Let's fix it." But she doesn't say that to her. She doesn't explain anything to Xavier. She won't even tell him about the Natalie AI, which some some um some forewarning would have been great, because of the maybe he would have still reacted the same way, but being suddenly coming suddenly face to face with Natalie, not knowing the backstory of the brain mapping and how she didn't intend for the AI to suddenly become Natalie, would have been fine, because now Xavier is upset with her because he thinks that she consciously did this. And Natalie is now off somewhere because she thinks that Riri might actually consider deleting her. It's so messed up. So they go to the shop where Maddie and her daughter work. And her daughter does that usual salesperson pitch. And Ronnie's like, "Oh, come on. Where's your mother?" Now, we find out. Now, fun fact, I'm pretty sure Zelda was supposed to appear in Doctor Strange Academy, which obviously was canceled, but it sounds like she was supposed to be a part of it. And for some reason, Madeline decided to take her home instead of having her stay at Carmontage, which, why was she there to begin with then? If you're like, yeah, Carmontage is not a place for a child. Especially since Zelda looks, well, like not a child. So, I mean, I could understand if she was a little kid, preteen, but she looks like she's probably, if not college, late high school. She looks older than America when America was brought to Carmontage. So, but she's super powerful, and she obviously knows it's something powerful. Riri is holding something powerful, because before Riri could take whatever's out of her pocket after Zelda tells her to, she says, "Wait a minute," and they go to a different dimension so they could look at it, I guess, in relative safety. However, her mother yells at her that you're not allowed to do this without my permission. She's like, "But you didn't quite phrase it exactly like that." So I love this girl already. I really like her a lot. I hope they do more with the character. I love her a lot. So Ronnie is totally into magic, but not to this extent. Not to the actual sorcerer extent. And so we find out that the hood, is from another dimension, and Maddie freaks the fuck out and will not let Zelda talk and tell her what she knows, and just say, "You have to destroy it." And it's like, okay, great, bitch, how? Seriously, how are they supposed to destroy something if you won't tell them anything? So it's only a matter of time before Zelda finds Riri and, gives her the full scoop, because she goes to Zeke's lab, which I was right. This is a villain origin story, just not exactly the way I expected it. Riri said, promised Zeke she's going to get him out. Which Zeke is like, yeah, I don't believe you. Which I can't blame him for the speech he gave her about who he sees her as, because he was 100% correct. But unfortunately, he's now working for the Hood. Which, I don't want to give it away. I really don't. I really don't want to give away the thing that they're about to do. They finally did it. I'm happy. But anyway, so they now have to figure out how to dissolve his hood. And it's like, okay, we've tried everything. Now, I was hoping that they would have gone to Zeke. Which, by the way, I expected that Zeke was going to be the new tech specialist for this gang. I just loved the flirting between him and Slug. It was awesome. However, I thought this would have happened before he got arrested. And of course, everybody outs him as Zeke Stain. And it's like... And Heather's completely doesn't care that, oh, did you see what he did to my flowers? And it's like, bitch, you let your dog shit in his yard constantly, even when he asks you not to. And you act like he had no reason whatsoever to attack you. Be glad that with all his tech and his genius, that all he did was destroy your flowers. Anyway, so we got the conclusion to that arc when I wasn't actually expecting it. So, why didn't Riri go to talk to Zeke? Or just tell him, okay, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to try to destroy the Hood. And in order to do that, I'm going to be borrowing your lab. That would have been great. Why does she have to keep secrets from everybody? I have to admit, though, this tells you just how much money means. Because there is no freaking way that they would have caught Zeke Stain if the bioskin wasn't found at the crime scene of a rich person. There is no way that this would have happened this freaking fast. Anyway, so I feel for Xavier, and I especially feel for Natalie, because Natalie said from the very beginning that she wants to meet Xavier, and she doesn't like it that Riri is hiding her from him. And I appreciate that she wants a relationship with her brother. All well and good. Riri should have prepared him. Like I said, Riri should have said, oh, by the way, I created an AI through this brain mapping technology. And because I was thinking of Natalie at the time, the AI is Natalie. Because she is so convinced that she did not create Natalie that somehow it never occurred to her to tell Xavier this. Because if she at least prepared him that this was not my intention, it just happened, do you want to meet her? Because she wants to meet you. Maybe he would have handled that better. But then again, maybe Natalie shouldn't have said, I brought you here. As opposed to him thinking that Riri sent a remote control or something. Because, yes, you want a relationship with your brother. I get that. But, yeah, this didn't end well. So, I don't know if Natalie's going to become self-destructive at this point. Or if she's going to be less than helpful to Riri. I don't know. I mean, Riri did stick up for her. Even though Natalie stormed off thinking that Riri was actually considering deleting her, which, if you hadn't noticed from the very beginning, she wanted to. So maybe that's why she's so willing to believe it. But, so yeah. Yeah, I'm very curious what's going to happen in the remaining 2 episodes. I have no idea what they're doing to Zeke. It's some sort of upgrade, so God knows what that means. So yeah. Yeah, whether they to take down Parker, how they do it is going to be very interesting. If Zelda finds Riri and says, okay, this is the scoop, or if Riri realizes that Zelda or Zelma, I'm not sure which one, was going to tell her something important, maybe she'll go back to the shop and talk to her and say, okay, what's going on? How do I destroy this thing? Because now we know, which for those who are familiar with the Hood probably already knew this, that he's being influenced. So, just like, Riri killed John. Well, technically, yes. And before this episode, I would have thought that she was just so panicked to get out of there. She wasn't paying attention to the fact that she was confining John to his death. Based on this episode, it sounds like she knew damn well what she was doing. Which is so disappointing because I realized that last episode Zeke said that, there's that we'll rebuild you and we'll find a hero in there somewhere. So far, I'm not seeing hero because heroes don't let their bad guys die. Go to prison, yes, but die? And of course, now Zeke is going to become a villain just like his daddy. Because apparently everybody believes that Obadiah Stane was this upstanding citizen when he was trying to kill his mentor. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to mention from this episode. I think I covered everything that I wanted to in this episode. So with that, I will see you guys in the next one.